Well, Capricorn, it's great to have your company again. And, some months are a little more difficult for the astrologer to get his or her head around. And you'll see here the reason I'm saying that is due to this very powerful conjunction and new moon in this 8th house of the zodiac. You know, the 8th house and the 12th house to some extent, 8th house more, is one of the most misunderstood houses of the zodiac. It's a very intimate house. It's a very hidden house. There's a lot of taboo around it because the 8th house, the natural house of Scorpio, has to do with death and rebirth. You'd think that this has to be a fairly significant month for you to have a new moon here and have 3 or 4 planets. And you're going to have Mercury here as well later on, which we'll get to. But in any case, it forces you to look at the deeper psychological aspects of your personality and to try to make heads or tails of that. You know, intimacy has a lot to do with being vulnerable. And what I'd say to you is that, because you're naturally a bit of a self-protective star sign, it is a challenge for you to open up and reveal yourself. But that's exactly what has to happen. And you should try to do it with initiative, with drive, so that it proves to your partner here, this is shown by the North Node and Mercury here. North Node is a slower moving planet here, indicating your karmic challenges and how you have to work on this part of your life right now. That's, in fact, where you're going to be doing a lot of your hard work. 12th house trine here to Jupiter helps. See the triangular blue lines here to these 3 planets in the 8th house from the other hidden house, the house of spirituality, or what we call moksha, self-realization. This self-realization can only happen when you are vulnerable and you open yourself up. All that protectionism is, I guess it's good when you're working with the practical affairs of life and the dog-eat-dog world, but when it comes to matters of intimacy, communication is important. August 12, Mercury, the planet of communication, moves into this same area. And that's not going to be easy for you because we note the combustion. You see this when the sun is moving there, different planets, that combustion burns them up. It causes a lot of heat and difficulty. So, sure, it's not easy, but who said that anything worthwhile achieving is going to be easy? Otherwise, everyone would have it, right? Very few people are satisfied. And this is the reason why. 4th, 8th, 12th house positioning of planets and the issues associated with that are the real areas that need work. Communication, moon moving into conjunction with Neptune makes you idealistic. This is an important aspect, especially after the full moon around the 14th and 15th, where you see that in the finance sector. But getting back here into this 3rd house communication, there may be a bit of a shift there from this personal intimacy, as we see here by the movement of Mars into your 9th house of legal matters, studies, and the full moon I was just alluding to here in the finance sector. So there may in fact be a shift in communication and reappraisal of things associated with the practical affairs of your life. Also, this 8th house, with that shift, has a lot to do with shared resources, not just sharing your body and your emotions, sexuality and mentality, that sort of thing. Has to do with banking, finance, letter writing, communications, emails. That's Mercury around all of these components. But do you notice here, Capricorn, how these planets are moving out of this 8th house into the 9th house? So a distinct shift, and you'll find as these dates move, especially after the 24th, the shift is from this 8th house of hidden affairs to this 9th house of the higher mind, education, ideals, and also principles. Legal matters, bureaucracy, and other contractual matters may be part of that, particularly when Mercury moves into this segment a few days later. But you should get all of your business in order while this is happening. Communication with others can take place in a strong way when the moon is in the foreground, although dark in its waning phase here, in conjunction with Rahu, the North Node, which is a cultural component as well. So you may be meeting new people at this time. That's also shown by the 9th house, which apart from ideals, has to do with travels, foreign cultures and that type of thing, and that's accentuated by the transit of the moon in conjunction with the North Node. Now notice here, getting ready for this transit of Mercury into the 9th house here, its own sign of Virgo on the 30th, and that's quickly followed up on the 31st by this new moon. So two new moons, by the way, this month, one in the 8th house and then in the 9th house. So you can see how matters of intimacy and matters of ideals, travels, education, that sort of thing are the dominant themes for you throughout the month of August, Capricorn. I welcome you leaving me a message. I definitely welcome you subscribing, and I really welcome you to consider having a personal reading. A lot more people have been contacting me here. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I've been doing this for 37 years, so I love to share what I can. It's difficult to hear in 5 or 6 minutes, in the Oracle Express version, to identify for each and every one of you, of course, the nuances that are occurring for each rising sign, and that's based upon the time and place of birth. Drop me a line if you'd like to explore that further. I'll be more than happy to take that up with you. Until next month, take care, and thanks once again. I really do appreciate you joining me here. Bye-bye for now.